If you want to scale your agency, the key isn't just going to be about cranking out content or running ads. It's about building trust, delivering results, and positioning yourself as the go-to expert in the field. We scaled our content agency to over $200,000 per month in less than 2 years. And what I'm going to do in this video is I'm going to go through Alex Hormozi's top tips for scaling social media marketing agencies using content. I'll show you exactly how you can apply these principles inside of your agency, how you can build an irresistible brand, and how you can start landing high ticket clients using the same principles that Alex Hormozi teaches in this video.
So these two worlds where there's like the world that makes money and just needs traffic, and the world that has so much traffic and has no money. And so when you learn how to marry those two, you just make absolutely obscene amounts of money. Right now, if you have paid ads, starting organic will immediately make the paid ads more profitable. Because what will happen is people will look at the ads, then they will look at your organic, and then they will take the next step. Even if they took the next step and booked a call, they will actually show. And if they show, they'll have a higher percentage of closing. Like, don't worry about the views and all of that stuff that happens in the early days. Just keep making it, and just think about it in the beginning as lead nurture. In the early days, it'll be nurture. As you get bigger and bigger, it'll become acquisition.
That was one of the first things that I focused on, and really one of the things that accelerated our growth at our agency is I would be hammering the content. I would be building trust. I would do all these trust building activities in order to scale trust. And to me, I think one of the best ways to build trust, to scale trust, is to become the most trustworthy, to become the most known in your field. And I think a lot of agencies struggle with building their own brand. Honestly, if you're a content agency, they struggle to become a client of themselves because they're so focused on acquisition. But the problem with just focusing on acquisition is you might be missing the link of, the nurture, which increases the likelihood to do business with somebody. People work with who they know, who they like, and who they trust. We as agencies can be the most trusted in the field, can add the most value to our ideal customers. Then we're going to be the go-to for that specific niche, the go-to for our specific customer segment. At the end of the day, build a personal brand and you will reap the benefits.
From a scaling organic perspective, I tend to always start with an agency for every new medium or platform that I want to go on. If you don't want to do that, that's fine. I just prefer to buy lessons and shrink my timelines. I started with a guy that I think I was paying like $5,000 a month. In no way was he special, basically did nothing. But it kept me accountable to making 3 videos.
I guess the tip here is let's not be that content agency or that agency that we have clients thinking that they do nothing. And how we do that is we focus our offer not just on the quantity of deliverables or holding somebody accountable or just delivering content, rather focus on driving results.
My recommendation is do not promote in the content to the greatest ever. The CTAs, in my opinion, in content are not very effective. They kill reach, it feels weird, no one likes it, whatever. Where the magic happens is where you build all the goodwill for free and then you use ads to do the CTAs. Where it gets really juicy is that all of your content is only give. And then the ads are the ads.
This is a massive hack, not only for you as an agency owner watching this, for your brand, but also for your clients. Probably 90% of the agencies that we work with inside of Agency U come to us with a content offer. And the problem is there's no predictable, authentic, clear way to predictably get clients if we're just delivering content for clients. But if we can have what Alex Hormozi just explained from the perspective of having the content in the ads, and the ads actually be the ask to actually predictably get results, which we can then control, and we can confidently say, this is how many leads we got from the content, then that's when you're gonna be set up for success. And then same thing for your agency. What you should also be doing is running paid ads for your agency. You should be creating content that positions you as an authority and builds trust. And you should be running ads that captures the attention of that you're getting from the organic as well as new attention to have them make an action to want to work with you. It's the 1-2 punch that we do a ton. And let me tell you, it's highly effective.
A side note for you guys is you'll notice the bigger the creator, usually the less frequent they actually make videos. And it's because they realize just power laws exist, which is that if you spend 10 times more time on one video, it doesn't get 10 times the views. Sometimes you get 100 times the views. You create the quantity to figure out the quality. And so in the beginning, more people make lots of content, and then you start figuring out the stuff that works, and then you'll notice that they're like, oh man, well, we did spend more time on that video. Okay, well, if we're gonna keep making videos like that, I don't think we can make this money, but it's okay because you make it up on the fact that the total quality of that one, it gets shared more, people watch it longer.
Yeah, I was definitely the guy that would post 3 times a day on social media, thinking that if I post 3 times a day on my social media, then I'm gonna get 3 times the results. And I started to just creating content to create it. And the problem is that it would just be consistently low views, just posting to post with not a clear message. What I started to do is I learned the art of copywriting and understood what actually makes a good video. And now we post frequently, but what we're focused on is not just posting to post, but we're posting with intention, with everybody who's seen our content is actually seeing value. And to me, he's saying effective video, like maybe in terms of like the strategy and value and stuff. But what it comes down to is structure and copy. So I think one of the best skills that agencies can learn to serve their clients and to serve their business is copywriting. If you can understand copy, then you'll be able to speak to that audience really clearly. And every time you're speaking to that audience, the audience has a light bulb moment. They think, wow, this was made directly for me. I trust what they're saying because the content that they're actually creating is specifically for me. If we can focus on copy and quality of the video, then the results will come as a result of that, which is exactly what Hormozi is stressing.
There was a huge obsession of like match the exact words of the headline with the first however many seconds of the video, confirm the thumbnail in the background. And that's really because if you say, hey, we're gonna crush a Lamborghini, and they go and it's a talking head, there's no Lamborghini, they're like, screw this, and they're out. But if you're educating, then I think the Lamborghini in our situation is proof. The big Vegas lights of why should I listen to you? Sure, I want to learn more about guarantees. Okay, but why should I listen to you? And if you can answer that as quickly as possible, like the videos that when I looked at my top ones, it was just like, hey, I sold my company for $46.2 million. A big part of that was that we had a guarantee that beat all of our competitors. And so we did 4 things that we used that made our guarantee stronger.
I think a lot of agencies try to hack the algorithm, myself included, where it's like, I'm going to come up with the most polarizing hook that I can get all these views. And the problem with this is that it's like, not all views are created equal. I even go back to the point Alex Hormozi was saying, like, I don't care about views, I care about the quality of views. If we're wanting to speak directly to our ideal customer and get the ideal customer to watch the videos, what do we need to do? We need to actually prove that we know what we're talking about. So from an agency perspective, how can we leverage our case studies? How can we leverage what we've been able to do for ourselves? If you are an agency owner, I hope that you have proof on what you're selling, not just quantity of videos, but the result that you're driving for the customer. And same thing applies to your client's content, right? So how do we incorporate that into the content to actually provide proof that you're actually providing a result, and then you back up the proof with really good teaching, and that's what gets people to actually watch the video. So the more that you can think intrinsically almost and think about, okay, what are some of the results that I can use and leverage in my hooks? I think that's where you're really gonna win. Internally with ads, with organic content, if you don't have any proof, like dig deep and start to create that proof and then leverage that in the hooks, and you will start to see results for sure.
I think I have significantly increased my understanding what a brand is. I think first starting with the term of defining it, which is it's an association between 2 things. It's between things that people know, it's people that they don't know. If you're trying to make content about a certain topic, they will associate you with that topic. And so if you want to be known for a certain thing, like that, like the background, everything that goes into it, people make associations. That's how we learn. And so there are 3 elements to brand. The first is the strength of the influence. And so the question is, from an influence, is what percentage of people does it change their behavior? The next question is that behavior going towards or is it going away? For some people, it's very strongly towards, and other people, it's very strongly away, but he changes people's behavior. So he has a strong brand from an influence perspective. The directionality is going to depend on the person. And then the next piece, the third piece, is just the reach, which is how many people in general have this association with you. And so if you're thinking, I want to build a brand, then you think about the hypothetical max of what a brand would be, which is you'd want as many people as humanly possible moving towards you and all changing their behavior at once when they see your thing.
Yeah, I think one thing that I hear Alex Hormozi talk about is branding is association. I see a lot of agencies posting content that's like lifestyle content, posting content to just post content. And the problem with this is like, if you don't understand the invisible brand that you're building, which is really hard to like identify almost, because there's no real like metric of this is how influenced people are by me. But the beautiful thing is we have the ability to control how people think about us through the association, which is through the content that we're creating. What would increase the likelihood of building influence and moving people towards the direction? It's educating that customer and educating them consistently over time so that you can change the behavior in the thought process of those people. The beautiful thing about brand is what we want to do with brand is we want to move them to problem aware and solution aware with our content, and we want to be associated with the solution that our customers have. If we're an agency, how do we consistently identify what is the problem that our customers have, and how do I add value? How do I create value? How do I create content around the problem and around the solution that can solve the customer's pain points over and over and over again until we have the association. Okay, that's through the reps, the day in and the day out. But the more that you can hammer it, the more that you can just be consistent with. Like, I've been creating content for over 10 years, the more association you'll have. When they think of the problem, they want to see you as the solution. They want to go to you as the solution. You probably subconsciously do that with just things in your life and just like advice. Like, oh, if I'm looking for email advice or if I'm looking for fitness advice, who am I thinking about? Same thing with your customers. We wanted to have the same effect on them.
I think you need to have a repository for where your ideas are going to go as they come up throughout the week. If you don't know topics that you can go on, look at your calendar, look at every single meeting you had that week and what you spent your time on, and that will give you more than enough content to talk. One is that I document in real time through tweets or emails, do whatever you want. You have notes on your phone. Two is I look at my calendar. What did I do this last week that was interesting? The third category is far past. So like, what are the big lessons that have changed or shifted my beliefs that are valuable to somebody else? And then kind of like fourth category you can look at is what I call manufactured, which is like, I lived on $100 for a month, which is much closer to entertainment. I don't really do much of that, but it is another bucket of like topics of content.
Yeah, so Alex is basically sharing his process for coming up with ideas. If I'm an agency owner and I'm like, oh, I have no idea what the frick to say, use the method that Alex Hormozi just laid out for us. Look at your week. What were the meetings that you had? Hopefully you're recording the meetings. Talk about like what are some of the pain points of the customers, especially in sales calls. This is huge so that you can actually speak to the pain points of the customers that you're talking to. We use the tool called Fathom, and we'll literally go through Fathom, all of our notes, and we'll go through like what the customers are saying. And that indicates to us that these are the pain points of the customers so that we can use those pain points and speak to them in content and help the customers that we're actually talking about. Like I always say, design beats willpower. And if you can create a design for yourself, whether that's, okay, cool, after every meeting, I'm gonna write 3 topic ideas. At the end of the day, I'm gonna set an alarm and I'm gonna write 3 content ideas for that specific day on what happened. And then on Mondays, I'm gonna look at my past week and I'm gonna come up with another 3 content ideas. And all of a sudden you have all these endless amounts of content ideas that you can then use to share on social media. All right, guys, thanks so much for watching. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up. Hopefully you got some value from this. Really enjoy listening to Alex Hormozi speak about personal branding. Obviously, he has a lot of proof of what he's been able to achieve. So again, if you like the video, please give it a thumbs up. If you want me to react to more videos, comment the word Hormozi down in the comments if you made it this far. And if you haven't already, please be sure to subscribe to the channel. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you on the next one.